Those of us that have power antennas know that after a while they start to get that annoying squeak, and then we fear that we have to spend hundreds on parts, mechanics, and labor. But no need to fear, this video will take you through the steps on how to do it yourself. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, white gloves, a trim removal tool, a socket wrench, and lithium grease. Although this is shown on a Jaguar XJ8, this process is similar to many other vehicles and can be universally applied. First, remove the trunk floor which houses the spare tire and tools. In the case of the Jaguar, the battery cover is on the right side. Always disconnect the battery before you do any electrical work on the car. Remove the taillight covers and use the trim removal tool to remove the plastic fir tree clips that hold the trunk scuff plates on. Next, work the carpet out from underneath the plastic trim and make sure not to bend or break the scuff plate, and make sure that the carpet doesn't tear or rip. Then you're going to remove the entire carpet panel out from the rear right side of the trunk. Towards the top of the antenna mast there's a ground wire. Use your Phillips head screwdriver to remove the bracket and place it to the side, as shown here. Right where we removed the ground wire, there's going to be a black electrical connector. Pull this apart and set it aside. After that, you want to remove the white plastic electrical connector and set the connector to the side. Then, get out the socket wrench and undo the bottom bolt, loosening the mounting for the entire antenna assembly. On the outer rear fender, undo the bolt on the top of the antenna mast so that it can be pulled down into the trunk. To do this, you're going to grab the assembly, pull down, and then up. Make sure the rubber grommet stays with the drain tube. Bring the entire assembly over to a workbench and remove the 6 screws from the cover. With a little bit of persuasion, the two halves can be pried apart. After that, remove the flexible plastic gear housing and put it to the side. Make sure not to break this gear as it is very delicate. Then take some lithium grease and spread it around the flexible gear. Make sure to be generous and not to miss any areas, as this will cause more squeaking when you put it back together. When you're done with that, wind the flexible gear back into the housing. Make sure it doesn't snag or get tangled up in anything, and then seat it back inside the assembly. When it's done, it should look like this. Screw it all back together, and now you're ready to put it back in the trunk. Plug it in and test it out before you put all the trim back. Then you're going to want to make sure to feed the drain tube back into the rubber grommet so that you don't have to worry about future leaks and rust. Once it's all connected and screwed together, it should look like this. Putting all the trim pieces back together is just the reversal of the removal. With lithium grease only costing a few bucks, you've saved yourself a lot of money over buying a brand new antenna or being charged by a local repair shop for labor. If the antenna is still squeaky, you can add more lithium grease and make sure to periodically grease the antenna, maybe every year or so.